All right, thanks, guys. We are 8-1-1 in our last 10 daily double picks on patreon.com/Brock Page. We're also 11-3-1 in our last 15 college football plays and 7-3 in our last 10 underdog plays. That's patreon.com/Brock Page. Link for that site is in the description section below. Now, happy Friday to you guys. The weekend is finally here. I love Fridays, so today is going to be a great day. And we do have ourselves a massive slate of Major League Baseball action. So let's go ahead and get into it. Beginning with the Tigers taking on the White Sox. 4:10 Eastern first pitch at Guaranteed Rate Field in Chicago. Now this is game one of a doubleheader. Chicago is minus 160, total 9.5. Saw a 15-cent fade of Chicago in the early wagering. We also saw movement downward on the total. The White Sox opened 175 down to 160. Total opened 10 down to 9.5. 70% of the consensus is leaning toward Chicago. 66% shaded toward the over. Right now, Detroit is plus 150 on the money line. Chicago plus $1.15, laying the run and a half. We have Tyler Alexander for the Tigers, Ivan Nova for the White Sox. Nova comes into this game with 110 strikeouts. Alexander on the other side for Detroit, just 1-4 on the season, 4.99 ERA, 1.36 WHIP. The Tigers are the worst team in Major League Baseball. They also rank dead last in scoring on average per game. Now the White Sox on the other side, they are 7th in hits, 5-2 in their last 7 ball games. When it comes to the total, Chicago 5-1 to the over in their last 6 at Guaranteed Rate Field. I'm going to lean White Sox minus $1.60 in the over 9.5 in that game. Next matchup, Indians Nationals 7:05 Nation's Capital. The Nats are minus 120, total at 10. Pretty good two-way action on the money line. We did see movement upward on the total, however. Once again, Washington's minus 120, total open 9.5 up to 10. 51% are leaning Washington. And at the moment, the Indians are plus 110 on the money line. Washington plus $1.60, laying the run and a half. We have Zach Plesac for the Indians, Austin Voth for the Nationals. Now, Voth walked 13 batters in his last 37 innings pitched. Plesac on the other side, 8-6 on the year, 3.82 ERA, 1.22 WHIP. The Nats are 20th in hits allowed at home, 1-6 in their last 7 games where Voth made the start. Meanwhile, the Indians on the other side, 7-3 in their last 10. Just 2 games back for that second wildcard spot, so they're still alive. They're also 45-33 against the spread away from home. Of course, when I refer to the spread in Major League Baseball, I'm referring to the run line. Now, total-wise, Cleveland is 44-33 to the under when traveling. I'm going to lean Indians plus $1.10 in the under 10 runs in that game. Next matchup. Marlins, Phillies, 7:05 Citizens Bank Park. The Phillies are 175, total at 9. Saw a nickel fade of Philadelphia. They open $1.80 down to 175, total at 9. 63% are leaning Phillies, 55% shaded toward the over. Right now, the Marlins are plus 160 on the money line. The Phillies plus $1.05, laying the run and a half. We have Pablo Lopez for the Marlins, Vinny Velasquez for the Phils. Velasquez is 7-8 on the year with a 4.76 ERA, 1.38 WHIP. Lopez on the other side, 92 strikeouts on the year, 1.21 WHIP. The Phils have dropped 8 out of their last 10. They're also on a 6-game losing streak. They've won just 3 out of their last 9 at Citizens Bank Park, and they are 22nd in offensive hits on average per game. Now the Marlins on the other side, 3-2 in their last 5. They've also won 7 out of their last 9 head-to-head matchups with the Phils. They rank 7th in hits allowed on the road. Now, total-wise, Miami 5-2 to the over in their last 7. The Phillies 80% to the over in their last 5, taking on the Marlins. I'm going to lean Miami plus 1.5 in the over 9 runs in that game. Before we go ahead and move on, just going to take a quick timeout and welcome you to the show. Got some lines of personal leans out for Friday's Major League Baseball action. Happy Friday. The weekend is finally here. Now, before we go ahead and proceed, just want to quickly remind you to check me out on my website at patreon.com/Brock Page. We do daily premium plays on that website, and we have a bunch of different memberships and packages that begin at just $1.99 per month. We're 8-1-1 in our last 10 daily double pick membership plays on that site. So the daily double membership, we're 8-1-1 in our last 10 plays in that membership. We're also 11-3-1 on the year in college football, and we are 7-3 in our last 10 underdog plays on that site. There's also plenty of free content there as well, including my current record. You don't have to subscribe for that. That's on the homepage. All you have to do is click the link in the description below. That is patreon.com/BrockPage. All right, let's go ahead and dive into some more premium free content right here on YouTube. All starts Eastern Standard Time. And on deck, we've got the Reds taking on the Pirates, 7:05 Pittsburgh. The Reds are -145, total 8.5. Saw movement downward on the total in this one. Once again, the Reds -145, total open 9, down to 8.5. 52% are leaning Pirates, 88% shaded toward the over. Right now, Pittsburgh's +135 on the money line. The Reds are +1.25, laying the 1.5. We have Anthony DeSclafani for the Reds, Steven Brault for the Pirates. Pittsburgh, 5th in hits, 2nd in offensive strikeouts, 3-0 in their last 3 games. They're coming off a sweep of the Chicago Cubs. Now, Cincinnati on the other side has dropped 5 out of their last 6. They've also dropped their last 10 straight in Pittsburgh. Really not successful at PNC Park. Once again, 0-10 in their last 10 in Pittsburgh. They are 28th in road hits. Now, total-wise, Pittsburgh 5-2 to the over in their last 7. They're also 8-4 to the over in their last 12, taking on the Reds. I'm going to lean Pirates +1.5 and the over 8.5. Next game, Rays, Blue Jays, 7:07 Toronto. The Rays are 200, total 9.5, 10-cent move toward Tampa Bay, movement upward on the total. The Rays open 190, up to 200, total open 9, up to 9.5. 74% are leaning Rays, 61% shaded toward the under. Right now, the Blue Jays are +180 on the money line. Tampa Bay -$120, laying the 1.5. We have Tyler Glasnow for the Rays, TJ Zook for the Blue Jays. Zook's coming into this game with a 4.58 ERA, 1.47 WHIP. Excuse me. Sorry. Sorry about that slurp. Turning this into an ASMR video. Anyway, TJ Zook, like I said, 4.58 ERA, 1.47 WHIP. Tyler Glasnow on the other side, 6-1 on the year, 1.92 ERA, 0.92 WHIP. The Blue Jays have dropped 5 out of their last 7 at home, taking on the Rays. They're just 65-94 on the year, 29th in hits. Meanwhile, Tampa Bay on the other side, 6-1 in their last 7, 5-1 in their last 6, taking on Toronto. 5th in runs allowed on the road, 3rd in road strikeouts, 2 games ahead of Cleveland for that second wildcard spot. Total-wise, the Rays 6-3 to the over in their last 9. Blue Jays 9-4 to the over in their last 13. Give me the Rays -1.5 and the over 9.5 in that game. Next matchup. Orioles, Red Sox, 7:10 Boston. The Sox are 205, total 11. 25-cent fade of Boston, moving upward on the total. Sox open 230 down to 205, total open 10.5 up to 11. 67% are leaning Boston, and at the moment Baltimore's +190 on the money line. Boston -$120, laying the 1.5. We have Asher Wojciechowski for the O's, Nathan Eovaldi for the Sox. Eovaldi comes into this game with a 6.03 ERA, 1.60 WHIP. Wojciechowski on the other side has struck out 74 batters on the year. Boston has won just 37 out of 78 at Fenway this year. They've also dropped 5 out of their last 6 at home as well. They rank 23rd in runs allowed at home, last in walks allowed in the same category. The O's on the other side, winners in 3 out of their last 6. They're also 39-39 against the spread when traveling. Now, total-wise, Baltimore 4-1 to the under in their last 5 in Boston. I'm going to lean Baltimore +1.5 and the under 11 runs in that game. Next matchup, Braves, Mets, 7:10 Flushing, Queens. The Mets are -115, total 8.5. Saw a nickel fade of New York in the early wagering. The Mets open $120 down to 115, totals 8.5. 51% are leaning Braves, 84% shaded toward the under. Right now, Atlanta's plus 105 on the money line. We have Dallas Keuchel for the Braves, Marcus Stroman for the Mets. Stroman's 9-13 on the year. Meanwhile, Keuchel on the other side for Atlanta, 8-7 on the season, 3.59 ERA. The Mets have dropped 5 out of their last 6 at home, taking on Atlanta. They're 22nd in hits, 16th in hits allowed. The Braves on the other side, 6th in scoring, 3rd in offensive walks. They are the NL East champions. Total-wise, the Braves are 4-2 to the over in their last 6. The Mets are 80% to the over in their last 5, taking on a divisional opponent. Give me the Braves plus 105 and the over 8.5 in that game. Next matchup, Tigers, White Sox. 7:40 Eastern first pitch at Guaranteed Rate Field in Chicago. This is Game 2 of the doubleheader. The White Sox are minus 110 in Game 2, total at 9. We have Matthew Boyd for the Tigers, Manny Banuelos for the White Sox. Banuelos comes into this game with a 3-4 record, 6.93 ERA, 1.84 WHIP. Meanwhile, Matthew Boyd on the other side for the Tigers, 1.22 WHIP and 234 strikeouts. Give me the Tigers minus 102 and the over 9 runs in that game. Next matchup, Yankees, Rangers, 805 Texas. The Yankees are 270, total 11. 20-cent move toward New York, movement upward on the total. The Yankees open 250 up to 270. Total open 10.5 up to 11. 72% are leaning New York. 71% shaded toward the under. Right now, Texas is plus 245 on the money line. The Yankees minus $1.70, laying the run and a half. We have James Paxton for the Yankees. Joe Palumbo for the Rangers. Palumbo's 0-2 with a 9.22 ERA and a 1.68 WHIP. Paxton on the other side for the Yankees, 15-6 on the year, 3.73 ERA, 1.27 WHIP. He's also struck out 185 batters. The Rangers have dropped 9 out of their last 11. They're also 28th in offensive strikeouts on average per game. Now the Yankees on the other side, first in scoring, second in road hits. When it comes to the total, Texas is 5-0 to the over in their last 5. The Yankees 51-27 to the over when traveling. Give me the Yankees minus 1.5 and the over 11 runs in that game. Next matchup, Brewers, Rockies, 8-10, Colorado. This game's currently off the board. We have Zach Davies for the Brewers, Antonio Senzatella for the Rockies. Senzatella comes into this game with 40 strikeouts and 57 innings pitched. Meanwhile, on the other side, Zach Davies has walked 50 batters thus far in the season. He also has a 1.31 WHIP. Now, Colorado's first in home scoring, first in home hits. The Brewers on the other side, 25th in offensive strikeouts, 22nd in walks allowed. I'm going to lean Colorado plus 1.5, getting the job done for some run line cash. Next game, Cubbies, Cards, 8:15 St. Louis. This game currently off the board. We have Alec Mills for the Cubs, Dakota Hudson for the Cards. Hudson's 16-7 with a 3.45 ERA and 126 strikeouts. And the Cards are 6-2 in their last 8, 49-29 at home. They rank second in runs allowed at home, second in hits allowed at home. Meanwhile, the Cubbies on the other side, winners in just 31 out of 78 away from home. They've lost their last 9 straight. They're also 24th in offensive strikeouts on the road. Give me the Cardinals winning that one outright for some money line cash. Next game, Twins. Twins Royals. Looks like I skipped that one. Twins Royals. That's unfortunate. Twins Royals. I can't even read that. 8:15 Kauffman Stadium. I'm going to take a pass on this one. It's a pass for me. I'm going to take a free pass on that one. On a free pick. I'm taking a pass. All right, next game. It's pass for me. Next game. Padres, D-backs, 9:40 Arizona. The D-backs are minus 130, total at 9. Nickel move toward Arizona, moving downward on the total. The D-backs open 125 up to 130. Total open 9.5 down to 9 flat. 60% are leaning D-backs, 69% shaded toward the under. Right now, San Diego is plus 120 on the money line. The D-backs plus $1.55, laying the run and a half. We have Lauer for the Padres, Clark for the D-backs. Give me Arizona minus 130 and the over 9 runs in that game. Guys, I got to move because I am late again today. Let's go ahead and get moving. Astros, Angels, 10:07 Los Angeles. Astros minus 210, total 9.5, 30-cent fade of Houston, and movement downward on the total. The Astros open 240 down to 210, total open 10 down to 9.5. 61% leaning toward the Astros, 60% shaded toward the over. Right now, the Angels are plus 190 on the money line. Astros minus $1.25, laying the run and a half. We have Urquidy for the Astros, Sandoval for the Angels. Give me Houston minus 1.5 and the under 9.5 in that game. Next matchup. Athletics, Mariners, 10-10 Seattle. Oakland's 210, total 9.5, 10-cent move toward Oakland. They open $2 up to 210, total 9.5, 69% leaning toward the A's, 83% shaded toward the under. Right now the Mariners are plus 185 on the money line. Oakland minus $1.25, laying the run and a half. We have Mike Fiers for the A's, Justice Sheffield for the Mariners. Give me Oakland minus 1.5 and the over 9.5 in that game. And we're going to slide into our next and final matchup for the show. It is going to be Dodgers, Giants, 10-15 San Francisco. The Dodgers are $1.90, total 7.5. Pretty good two-way action on the money line, although we did see movement downward on the total. Pretty good pitching matchup here as well. We'll get into that in just a second. The Dodgers, once again, open and remain minus 190, total open 8, down to 7.5. 61% are leaning Los Angeles, 83% shaded toward the over. Right now, San Francisco is plus 170 on the money line. We have Walker Buehler for the Dodgers and Johnny Cueto for the Giants. I'm going to lean Giants plus 1.5 and the under 7.5 in that game. And we're going to go ahead and slide into our quick pick recap brought to you by patreon.com/BrockPage. We got the Giants plus 1.5, under 7.5. Oakland minus 1.5, over 9.5. Houston minus 1.5, under 9.5. Arizona minus 130, over 9 runs. St. Louis winning their game outright for some money line cash. Colorado plus 1.5, getting the job done for some run line cash. Yankees 1.5, over 11 runs. Tigers minus 102, over 9 runs in game 2 of the doubleheader. Baltimore plus 1.5, under 11 runs. Braves plus 105, over 8.5. Tampa Bay minus 1.5, over 9.5. Miami plus 1.5, over 9 runs. Cleveland plus 110, under 10 runs. Pittsburgh plus 1.5, over 8.5. And last but certainly not least, we have the White Sox minus $1.60 and the over 9.5 runs in game 1 of the doubleheader. All right, guys, that is going to do it for me. Once again, don't forget to check me out on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage. We do daily plays on that site, and memberships begin at just $1.99 per month. We're 8-1-1 in our last 10 daily double plays. We're 11-3-1 in our last 15 college football plays. And we are 7-3 in our last 10 underdog plays. There's also plenty of free content there as well. That's patreon.com/BrockPage. Link for that site is in the description section below. But most importantly, it's Friday. So happy Friday to you. The weekend's here. And I gotta thank you for watching me right here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. Happy Friday to you. Best of luck to you. And don't forget to check me out on patreon.com/BrockPage.